Chopin Innovations, Turning Point in Musical History. Born on March 1, 1810, Frédéric Chopin was a Polish composer and influential pianist of the Romantic period. He was a composer without comparison, a genius on the piano with an incomparable technique, and composed musical departures from the norm of classical music at that time. Chopin permanently changed the history of music forever. This turning point in musical history affects the music we hear today. Mozart wrote many different concertos and symphonies with clarity and clear resolution in sonata, allegro form, and almost all of his works were in major keys. In contrast, Chopin mainly wrote for the piano. Because of this shift, he could fully grasp the potential of the piano to do things nobody else could before to change harmony. Chopin influenced composers such as Rachmaninoff and Debussy to push the boundaries of the piano, even influential musicians. Among the most successful American singers, songwriters, and producers such as Barry Manilow and Perry Como are examples of many artists and composers he continues to inspire to have elements of Chopin in their musical styles. Mozart wrote his sonata in C major in 1788 when he was 32 years old. This piece is incredible because Mozart wrote in his notes that this piece was for beginners. He put limitations on the difficulty level so many people could play it. He wrote an effortless yet recognizable melody. Mozart usually wrote in an ABBA format. An ABBA format is first playing the first melody, then the second melody, and finally going back to that first melody and resolving it. Mozart was able to write perfect melodies. Even today, people still love Mozart because of his recognizable famous pieces. This piece is the Sonata in C by Mozart. Chopin's most notable difference compared to composers who came before him, such as Mozart, is how they wrote their codas. A coda is the end of a piece. Mozart wrote codas which lasted 20 seconds to wrap up a piece. In contrast, Chopin wrote dramatic codas going in different directions, usually lasting 2 minutes and driving into a grand finale. For example, here is the coda from Chopin's Ballade No. 1. Both Mozart and Chopin have energetic pieces with rapid notation. But Chopin goes in many different directions compared to the whole piece. Audiences listening to these unexpected turns that Chopin wrote into his music were harmonious and concordant. Chopin could transition into other sections of a piece without any dissonance, abrupt change, or a complete stop. In contrast, Mozart and composers during his period, such as Haydn and Bach, would come to a complete stop to end a section to start a new section A to B. At the time of Chopin, classical composers traditionally wrote in major keys. Beethoven, born in 1770, was one who rejected this convention and wrote in minor key signatures. Almost no composer other than Beethoven wrote in these critical signatures. Chopin also rejected this convention and wrote in minor keys. His first composition was in G minor. When composers write in minor keys, the piece can sound more dramatic, soulful, and depressing. When a composer writes in a major key signature, it can sound more joyous, cheerful, and happy. In his pieces, Chopin used minor key signatures to have a more expressive range of emotions. Born in Poland, Chopin grew up in Warsaw and left Poland when he was 20, just before the November 1830 uprising of Poland. The Polish people revolted against the Russian government. Chopin put all his anger and frustration towards Russia and his love for Poland into his etude in C minor. He wrote 12 etudes, marking this piece's finale for the 12. By writing this etude in C minor, Chopin evokes anger, passion, and turmoil. Chopin could express a broader range of emotions with minor key signatures. Chopin's departure from the musical conventions of his time marked a turning point in the history of music. While classical composers of the era predominantly composed in major keys, Chopin's bold embrace of minor tonalities expanded the expressive palette of music, allowing for a deeper exploration of emotions ranging from despair to defiance. Moreover, Chopin's compositions served as a vehicle for personal and nationalistic expression. His Etude in C minor, composed after the November 1830 uprising in Poland, exemplifies Poland's situation and political turmoil. Through his music, Chopin showed his patriotism and defiance against Russian oppression, creating a piece that resonated not only on a musical level, but also as a symbol of resistance and national identity. Rachmaninoff, born in 1873, admired Chopin's inventive and harmonic language in his polished style of music. Rachmaninoff tried to write Russian music with his own inventive and harmonic language. Rachmaninoff grew up in Russia and moved to Germany in 1906. In the following piece that Rachmaninoff composed in 1901, he rejected the rules of what Russian music had to sound like. He put many sweeping arpeggios and intricate chord progressions during the B section in the piece. Here is the Prelude in G minor by Rachmaninoff. Wrote a more traditional Russian A section, then changed direction into a very dynamically different section B. Claude Debussy, born in 1862, also admired Chopin. Debussy composed nocturnes, preludes, and etudes as Chopin did. Debussy's nocturnes sound similar to Chopin's, but in his own French style. Debussy creates the cloudy moodiness that Chopin created, writing in minor keys. Debussy wrote in E major with his own style to create that range of emotions. Chopin's contributions to music represent a transformative moment in history, where Chopin challenged the boundaries of tradition by composing solely for the piano, writing in minor keys to evoke passion, rage, and moodiness. By writing in minor key signatures, Chopin could raise and lower the dramatic tension within a piece. Chopin's contemporaries noticed his pioneering in his compositions. His innovative approach to composition on the piano inspired generations of musicians, from classical composers like Rachmaninoff and Debussy. They tried to imitate him and invent other ways to add passion and moodiness to their pieces. Musicians today are inspired by Chopin and try to write with elements of Chopin. Looking back at music for the past 100 years, Chopin's musical innovations are a turning point in the history of music.